Cam Butler, welcome back to Australian Musician.
Hello, Greg.
We're talking to you because you have a new album, Solar, coming out on August 11. What was the inspiration to write an album called Solar? Was it something you read, something you watched?
No, I'd written it and I didn't have the name for ages. And then, like all the names that I come up with, it just came to me. Well, I don't know what just came to me out of the blue. That's what I'm going to call it. And it was pre the pandemic. When I had the name. It just came to me one day. There's nothing really amazing.
So what's the starting point to an epic album like this? What's the first task?
I have to. I've got loads and loads of like ideas that I've written down over the years, and they never. Sometimes they will work for things that I'm working currently, and then they just sit in my folders and bits of paper and stuff, and I sort of okay. And I had a concept for this record. I wanted to do something that had a kind of a coherent theme that went through the whole record. And I found some older pieces that I'd written that I thought, I'd started to write, I should say. And then I kind of started working on the instrumentation, what I needed it to do, what I could afford to do with the strings, and just sort of develop from there. But I did have a bit of an idea that I just didn't want to. I wanted all the pieces to be kind of connected, like I wouldn't say a concept, but they're musically they're connected. So I think it gives an interesting listen for the when you listen to it, you don't know what it is, but it's all being tied together.
Do you map out the record in terms of mood and tempo, what you want where, or do you just deal with individual tracks and put it all together later?
Yeah, I start off with individual tracks, and then I kind of work out which, and then maybe if I realise I need something that's going to finish it, it's just part of the whole process, I think. I never really have. Well, actually, it's more recent things. I have a bit more of an idea about the whole thing, but at Solar, I probably wrote it about maybe it's almost 4 years ago now, really, because everything got waylaid because of the pandemic and everything. But I had an idea about the concept, but I didn't really have the set order, and I had to sort of retweak, move a few things around, and I think, okay, I need to write something else that will fit in there, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, what do you use to compose these days? I think at one point you were using Sibelius.
Yeah, I still use Sibelius.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a fantastic program, isn't it? It's a combination of just of writing stuff, and then I plug it in, and then I write, and I've got a very complicated sort of. Well, I think it's complicated anyway. It's kind of a complex kind of way of doing it. I do find it a bit hard. You can't kind of just compose on the computer. I find that a bit weird. You kind of nut it out on the paper first. Well, I do anyway, and then I put it in there. But you can get a sense of what it sounds like, which is amazing. The parts and everything. And also, I've noticed Sibelius is really great, well, for me anyway, to get a sense of a form. So you're kind of listening to a recording in a way, and okay, that needs to be longer, or that needs to be shorter, or something like that. That little section or whatever.
Yeah. With an orchestral piece like this, do the guitar parts come first? Do they come last?
I compose on the guitar, but and I've over the years I've worked out a way of I've got more confident about how I can use the guitar with this idea of strings. It's something that I've always loved, that sound, and I know that the guitar, and particularly the electric guitar and strings, they blend so well if they're played in the right way. And now I kind of do things where the guitar is emulating the strings in a way, or the strings are actually playing actual guitar lines. I've kind of worked out I used to sort of write where I just sort of write the strings and then I'd fit everything in around them, but I don't do that anymore. I've kind of work on both together, and I think it makes it for a bigger sound, because the guitar can sometimes with the strings it's quite interesting. Like you can have the strings and the guitar in the mix or whatever, and you can have them playing along. And and then you take the guitar out, and oh God, it really needs it in there. It gives atmosphere and depth, kind of like horns or something, I suppose, or some other kind of orchestral arrangement or instrumentation, I suppose. It's quite interesting, actually. I really like it. It's fun.
How fussy are you with your guitar takes?
I'm pretty fussy, because I have to be right. Otherwise, they don't fit in with they have to be right. I can't just sort of wail away and that doesn't work like that. It's got to be pretty finessed.
Who are your musical inspirations from a classical perspective, or even artists that score films?
I I like Górecki, that Polish composer. I know he's very famous for his Symphony No. 3, the one that was like in the in the 90s, whatever that was. But he's got other things that I think are fantastic. He's a really fantastic composer. I like him because he uses blocks of sound, and it's on the surface seems really, really simple, which I like. But actually, how it's formed and the tone of it is incredible. I like Sibelius, the composer Sibelius. He's got such a brilliant sort of mind, the way that he had things just developed and how he wrote things is incredible.
Have you ever been approached to write a soundtrack to a piece of film?
I've done a couple of short movies.
Okay. Is that something you'd like to explore further?
Yeah, I'm sure if it came my way, of course, yes.
There's a clip to the track We Need Help, which is the first clip for this album. Who put that together? And
my partner Hayley directed and edited that, and it's footage that it's taken sort of around the southern Victoria, this sort of local area. Because we're putting together, we're going to be doing a kind of video presentation of the whole record. So every song, every piece has a video associated with it, and it's like a big little mini movie that you go and see. That's part of it.
How good are you at getting the ideas from your head to the recorded stage, the way you're hearing them?
I don't know, probably very bad, I think. Although I do record a lot of stuff on my phone. I sort of sing along to stuff that I get an idea and I get on the phone and I sing it, then I write it down later on. So that's something that, because I like the idea of like a vocal quality to, particularly with strings, how like so it's like a voice. So there's inflections and things that a voice does. So it might be quite a simple melody line, and that if someone has sung, or I've sung, or I've howled into the phone, and then I write it later when trying to emulate that, and it kind of gives it a certain quality, I think. But I don't know about the general kind of, I mean, I don't know what other composers would say about that, but I mean, it's like, sometimes it's like, you have a grand thought, don't you? And then sometimes it doesn't quite turn out like that, or sometimes it's even better.
Are you still learning things with each new album and composition?
Oh yeah, most definitely, yeah, of course, yes.
What kind of things?
Oh God, everything really. To become, hopefully, become more elegant in a way, you know, like a more kind of, more sort of interesting, I hope. A better tone, improved tone, a bigger sound, a warmer, richer sound. I'm always trying to get it like that. Yeah, but I'm learning all the time. Yeah, that's actually what's really good about it. Actually, it's it's very, very interesting.
You've released many albums now. How do you keep things fresh and new, and not repeat yourself?
Well, I don't know. I probably have started repeating myself a little bit, maybe melodically, and I don't know, maybe not. I don't really know I don't really know. I love doing it. I find it very interesting, and I find that I've still got so much to learn, and so much that, particularly about orchestration and about developing an idea. So yeah, I just find it continually fascinating, actually.
Tell me about the musicians who were involved in the recording.
Well, I've got my main two collaborators, well, three really, but Andy, the bass player that I play with all the time, was only on one track. But my main two collaborators, it's Mark Dawson on drums, and Andrea Keeble, who is the sort of solo violinist, first violinist, concertmaster of all my string recordings, and we've all been working together for a really long time now, and which is great because you have a kind of a unspoken communication. You kind of know how everyone's going to sound and what everyone likes, and they kind of know what I like. So it's, I'm very lucky to have with them. They're such incredible musicians to be able to work with them.
Do you hope to perform the album live with strings?
I'm actually doing a show at a kind of a stripped back version of some of the songs of the album at the Recital Centre on the 1st of October. So it's going to be just string quartet with a rhythm section and me on guitar. And we're going to be playing some of the songs from solo plus some of my older ones. But to do the actual record as a live thing, I don't know, that's sort of financially impossible at the moment. Well, this is I think from memory it's a 1986 Les Paul Custom. I got it from the Trading Post, and this guy over in, it was like Templestowe or something like that. I remember getting like about 3 buses to get it and whatever. And when did I get it? In like 1995 or something like that, I think. And I heard it ever since. It's my only electric guitar, and it's a fantastic instrument. So it's 1986 model, so it's got those, what are those pickups? Tim Shields pickups? Are those the ones that so they're a bit, not that I've played it, and loads of Les Pauls, but it's got a sound I quite like. They're a bit softer in the tone, or they're not as forward, I suppose. It's a little bit noisy, but that's all right. I got the Bigsby put on it maybe, that was a while ago, a long time ago actually, but it didn't come with the Bigsby. You play it all the time at home. What is it? A 90? Here we go. It's a 1996 Maton. It was a 12 string, but I made it into an 11 string, and I had the order of the strings flipped around. So when you strum it, you hit the lower octave first rather than the higher octave, and there's no octave on the bottom E as well. I reckon it gives it a warmer tone. I don't use it live. I have used it a couple of times, but not much anymore. It's a nice sound. It's got nice sort of mid-ranging kind of sound. Yeah.
The album's out on Kasamuen Records. What can you tell me about the label?
I don't know heaps about Kasamuen. I've known Don, who runs the label. I've known him for a long time, and he's been a long-term supporter of my music. And he approached me, just a few months ago, if he would like to put out solo, and I said, so I said yes. I've been putting out my own records over the last few years, and it's very hard. I find it's not really something that I'm really suited at doing. So to have someone like Don to approach me is really great.
Yeah, and it's going to be available on vinyl as well?
It's on vinyl and CD and, vinyl and CD, yes.
Yeah. So what are your hopes for an album like this when you put it out to the world?
I really don't know. I mean, once upon a time I used to kind of think, it'd be great if it was, something happened to it or whatever. And these days I'm much more modest in how I think about things. It's not a... It's its own eccentric world. That doesn't fit into anything that's going on in the current kind of musical sort of landscape. So if people like it, that would be great. I've got some very loyal supporters, and if they like it, then I'm happy.
What about bucket list projects? Things in the back of your mind that you want to get to one day?
I would like to do a kind of an album with using a really large string section, like 40, 50 plus players. I've been working on some things I've got a few things that I've been working on over a little while that would suit something like that. A really big, incredibly big sound. I would like to do that.
And what else is happening for the rest of the year?
Well, I'm playing, got a couple of shows with Ron and The Superstitions. We're going to Sydney in November. As I said, I'm playing that show at the Recital Centre on the 1st of October. Working on all various recordings and things that are, for future things.
Cam Butler, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Greg. Thank you very much.